How you doing, folks? It's your boy Donald Wonder back here on Planet Tyro, and as promised earlier this week, it's anime time. Now, if you guys checked out the last video, you saw my anime collection. Now, when I went through my collection, there was one title that I didn't even do my opinion on. I just held it up to the screen and just said, we'll put that to the side. And that anime is this Kare Kano, His and Her Circumstances. So this is one I've always wanted to speak about on the anime podcast, but now we're doing video. And now that I've watched the manga, I'm going to talk about the anime series and the manga. So let's do it.
Tyro Media.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Kare Kano, His and Her Circumstances, the anime and the manga, both. Okay, people, before we get started, I own it, so you obviously know that I have positive things to say about it overall. But because I've watched the anime and the manga, let's talk about the anime first. And the reason I want to talk about the anime first is because it doesn't cover all of the manga. Now, the manga was published in 1996, I believe. It's 21 volumes. It ran from 1996 all the way to 2005. The anime was made in 1998, and I think it ended only in 1999. The manga was still going on, didn't have enough material, so unfortunately, they couldn't get all the story in the anime. In the anime, I would say they covered 1/3 of the story, and I'll break it down in a minute. But what I will say is the animation is actually done by Gainax. The animation for 1998 is actually good. You know, Gainax do good. The only problem is it suffers from budget. Gainax have budget problems all the time, and throughout the series, it can look really good one minute and then look really cheap at others. They do incorporate some very comical elements like paper cupboard stuff, you know, and I like that, but it just isn't consistent overall. But I still like the animation. Now, I'm kind of jumping ahead. Let's get to what this story is actually about. His and Her Circumstances is about a young teenage girl called Yukino, forget her second name, and she is a very preppy, kind of brattish high school student who has a perfect score. She's loved by all of her fellow classmates. She's beautiful, well at all her studies, and everyone loves her. Unfortunately for her, there's also another classmate who's a guy. His name is Arima, and he's also very well liked in the school, and he actually is a little bit smarter than her. So her little facade of being this goody two-shoes, everybody loves me, when she finds out that her classmate Arima is actually better than her, she actually gets jealous and vindictive, and you get to see that she's actually a two-faced little bitch at first. Now, the thing what makes the story so interesting is he kind of finds out about her two-facedness, and then a friendship blossoms, and then friendship blossoms into a romance, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, we've kind of seen this thing before, enemies turn to friends, turn to lovers, but the thing I like about this show is the way that their romance is actually implemented and executed is actually realistic. This guy is not, he seems like a model student at first, but later you can see he's got really weird attachment problems, and he's got a kind of dark love for her. I can't live without you and stuff like that. These two are not one-sided characters. They're very, very three-dimensional. The problem with the anime is it only covers part of the story. Now, what I will say is the story, let's jump into the manga for a minute. The whole story for this whole His and Her Circumstances is broken into three. Her story, their story, and his story. Her story is Yukino's story. Their story is all of their friends. And his story is Arima's story. And that's what the whole story covers. The anime only covers her story, which is 1/3 of the story, which is what is a bit of a letdown. The English dub for His and Her Circumstances is actually really, really good, except for Arima. I think the guy who did his voice was way too emo, and he sounds really off kilter. But overall, I think the voice acting is actually really good in this. Now, the other characters also give a lot of life and vitality to the story. These two are your main characters Yukino and Arima, but the other characters are fun, vibrant, playful, colourful, and just bloody interesting. They all played well, and that's why they have their own arc in the middle, which isn't covered by the anime, unfortunately. But you get to like them all as the story progresses as well, and they all got different parts of the story. They all complement each other, and they have good characterization as they interact with each other. But again, this is only covered so much in the anime. Alright, so there's only so much more I can say about the anime. I was back in the day when I originally watched this, I was very disappointed with the anime because the story, the pacing started to slow down as they were catching up to the manga, and it left very incomplete, and it just bugged me because this was actually one of my all-time favorite high school romance animes just because it was so much more realistic than all of these other stupid harems, all of these other dragged out romances. This isn't dragged out, it's just straight to the point, and all the characters are much more realistic, and this is actually almost my top favorite high school romance anime of all time. But the anime doesn't finish, so let's fast forward about 10 years after watching the anime. I decided I finally want to read the manga because I heard that manga finished in 2005, and I want to see if this story still holds up as a manga. And I'll just tell you right now, yes, I was thoroughly impressed. The story was consistently good throughout the manga. The story's pretty much the same as the anime is the manga. They did a really good adaptation when you look back at the anime now because it's the same story in the manga. The artwork for the manga is actually really good. For 1996, I think it's really, really nice. I've seen some of it in colour, which looks even more beautiful. I think the mangaka did a really good job. So when we cut to the parts of the story that we missed in the anime, we start off at this, we get the school festival, which is really good because we start to see the darker side of Arima and start to see what's going on with this guy. Why is he so emo? Why has he got this really kind of disturbing attachment to Yukino? He's already his girlfriend. Why is he so like that? But then when we get to his story in the last third, you know, this is a shoujo story, so it's written from a woman's perspective, but I have to say, I was actually really impressed with that last quarter with his story. It was sad, it was depressing, but it wasn't over the top. In a sense it was, but to be honest with you, it just felt realistic. And I really understood why this guy's personality was so dark, because he had a really fucked up childhood, I ain't gonna lie. The ending was really good, although there was something I didn't like about the ending, but I'll get to that in a minute. But jumping back to the middle, the part with I know I'm kind of neglecting the rest of the characters, all the other characters are good, even in the manga. They get a bigger time to shine, they have their own arc in the middle after the school festival, but to be honest with you, some of those characters I just didn't even care for, so, you know. But then again, there are a lot of characters in this manga series, so, you know, the good with the bad. So, let me look at the franchise on a whole now and just say this. What I didn't like about this franchise is some of the pacing wasn't that great, but the characterization kept me drawn in. The anime, again, the animation is just unstable, but I still like it. It actually has one of my favourite anime openings of all time for me, because I like the opening for the anime because it incorporates some of the manga elements with the anime that makes it look really nice. This show needs to be rebooted. This is actually one of Gainax's best high school dramas, and I think it needs to be redone. This is, now that the manga's done, reboot Kare Kano. This is fantastic. It's hard for me to recommend it because the anime is unfinished, but the manga is. I would recommend the anime. I'm going to give the anime a solid B. I would give it higher, but it's unfinished, so read the manga and finish off the story. But honestly, the story is great. If this is rebooted today, I think this is going to be like my all-time favourite high school anime romance. Right now, Toradora has got that spot, but I still think if this was rebooted today, it would knock a lot of the fucking shit that's been done in the last decade or two out of the water. This is a really great story. I know some people didn't like it and they thought it came on a little bit too thick, and it does at times, but to me this is still one of my favourite high school animes just because of the, looking for the box set right here, just because of the characterization with the characters. The box that I have is very, very old, the box was worn, and I don't know if you can even pick this up anymore, but because it's unfinished, I don't know what to say, maybe stream it? The manga, I'm going to give the manga a very, very low first class. The only thing I didn't like about the manga was at the end. Have you guys seen Twilight? So we have to draw this comparison. Do you remember how Jacob ends up falling in love with Bella's daughter? Something like that happens here. Didn't like it, and that left a bad taste in my mouth. But you know, Japanese romances and relationships, they can be incestual and weird. So this is one of them times. But Kare Kano, His No Circumstances, is still one of my all-time favorite romance animes. I still think it does things so bloody well. Cuts to the chase, cuts through a lot of the bullshit, and it just is realistic. So people, at the end of the day, take it with a grain of salt. The anime's unfinished, the manga's complete. But this needs a goddamn reboot. Please reboot Kare Kano. But guys, take my advice. I still recommend this highly. And I think I've said enough. Let's leave it there, people. Anyway, if you've seen Kare Kano and you agree with me, leave a comment down below. Let the people know you need to see this shit. If you haven't, go check it out because I think this is very underrated. I don't even hear people talk about this, which is a goddamn shame. But either way, whatever you guys think, leave a comment down below and let me know. I'm slurring my words so much in this video. But anyway, guys, that was me doing my little anime manga review. It's been a long time. I'm going to do a lot more next year, and I might do some more before the year ends. But that's about it for now, people. I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.